Croeso. Good morning. Welcome to Efail. We're about 23 miles from Aberystwyth inland in the foothills of the Cambrian mountains in Ceredigion in mid Wales, mid to west Wales. We moved here 8 years ago and after just 1 year we decided that this garden needed sharing and would have been open for 5 years for the MGS, but obviously this year is slightly different. So welcome to Efail. Steve and I garden here on our own. There are 6 acres altogether, and first of all I'll show you around the ornamental garden full of birdsong and sheep. The rhododendron has been in full bloom now for a week and is beginning to fade a little bit, but it's still stunning and already buzzing this time of day. And London Pride is making its mark. My favourite acre, which is a beautiful lime green colour, turns orange in the autumn. You can hear trickling water, that's next door's pond, lovely sound. So this area has had snowdrops and fritillaries in it. Now is given over to pink campions, bluebells, and the weather's been so lovely that out has come the hammock. Best place to be on a hot day in the shade of the trees. Across the little bridge, and here you get a good idea of the position that we're in. So our pond attracts a lot of wildlife. Often see a real heron, ducks, there's certainly frog spawn and lots of newts. See it shimmering now, I can see some frog spawn. Down in the distance, that's a view down the Tywy Valley towards Lampeter, and that's where our woodland is, which I'll take you to another time. So there are 5 different borders. This one, irises, just coming into bloom now. Lupins, and at the far end, past the ornamental grasses, there are lots of daylilies. On to the next one. This is actually going to be full of red hot pokers. I love the forget-me-nots and other wildflowers. Anything that's good for pollinators is allowed to grow in my garden. And the first red hot poker, and second one. And there are plenty of foxgloves as well, about to burst into bloom. This border's got roses, lavender. You can see the alliums just starting to poke through, and at the top end more acrelegia and another seat. Next border, also lots of perennials, really in full growth. I've never seen them looking quite so good at this early time in May, but already in the morning abuzz with life. And then as we turn this way, this is looking down, although it's southerly, this is the most exposed part of our plot. So there's a lot of dogwood at the back as a sheltered hedge, and then euphorbias, geraniums, tree peony, and inevitable wild roses to keep me happy. Final border, a lot of poppies with their lovely buds just about to pop. Perennial cornflower. So at Efail, one of our vegetable growing areas is this sheltered section near the house, and it reminds us of childhood, the book, so we call it Mr. McGregor's garden, but actually it's Mr. Yeomans' garden, so don't worry, Mr. McGregor's not about. We go through to this lovely little apple tree that hopefully has set to make lots of good fruit this summer, and a cherry blossom, and past the shed round the corner to, yep, a display of acre on the wall. Quinces hopefully also producing fruit later on. A clematis clambering up the roof. And then if we look down this border, next door's fairy pussycat came to have a look this morning. There were no plantings down this left hand side when we first came, so it's now full of, at the moment, bluebells just finishing, more acrolegia, and a very cross looking cat. I think I've disturbed him on the prowl. So, asparagus. Just coming to the end of this season. We're probably going to leave it now so that it makes ferns and gets strength up for next year. But that's been fantastic this year for the first time. We've been here 8 years and that's a good length of time to get an asparagus bed going. Peas, all ready to grow up their fence, well organised. This area of the garden is very much Mr. Yeomans' garden, so it's neat and tidy. And you won't find many curves and random things in here. So pleased that we support the NGS, because 2 years ago I had a mastectomy, and whilst I was receiving treatment, it was lovely to know that there was the support of Macmillan nurses. I could go and ask questions and just chat to somebody about what was going on in my life at quite a scary time. So thankfully, 2 years on, I'm still clear, but very passionate about supporting NGS.